G'day, people. Sitting in the car, waiting for people to get back, and I was having a bit of a thought about those interesting coils. I was saying how to make them for the GPXs and GPs. I'm thinking, windscreen wipers turned on by themselves. Yes, there's a couple of little drops of rain. Okay, now I know what's going on. I was thinking of actually having some cable made, and what I was going to actually do is make a triple cable with 3 cores in it, so you can well, basically, let me think about this. I want to see if we can make it like double D cable, but with an extra core for another receive, because of the 2 receive channels in the GPXs and GPs. And that'd be a really good basis for running a central transmit coil and 2 outrigger receive coils. And you could make your own coils, really nice coils, if you can get the coil shells, and put them together, and you got the proper cable. You'd wire it in, and no one would be any the wiser. It would just it would look like mono cable. Probably make it a little bit better than double D cable, because it is a little bit a little bit higher in capacitance, but we could space it a little bit. It wouldn't be much bigger, probably about 7 millimeters in diameter. But I'll look at getting some made, and it'll probably be damn expensive, and I'll probably have to have a lot made. There we go. Nearly went up its rear end. Fantastic. Yeah, like just stops in the middle of the road for no reason when there's a car coming behind it. Unbelievable. Oh, now it's got road rage going on, shunting it along just about. Changing the weather, all sorts of weird things happen. But anyway, about the core cable. If you are interested in making some of these exotic coils, let me know, because if there's enough people interested, I'll make moves to get some of this cable made, and it'd be quite good on these older detectors to make a whole new series of coils. You could do all sorts. You could even, if you really think about it, you could have 2 transmit coils and have a single receive coil in the middle. You could do single transmit in the middle and 2 receives on the outer. You could do a lot of things with that. You can have the transmit connected. You put a switch on the detector, or you make a little switch box. You could switch all sorts of configurations, but with the configuration as it is, you can swap the phase of those 2 outrigger receive coils just by going into normal mode or cancel mode, because it's going to invert the phase of one of the inputs. So it could be a really, really, really good coil. And sorry, but I'm always in thought when I'm talking, and I have something pop into my head. And if we can get some coil shells, just thinking. Tell you, look, if you want to make a really cheap coil, just buy a skid plate. Buy a skid plate for whatever coil. Get them cheap. Get them from China or something. Oh no, they sell them. But here they're a little bit expensive because it's the gold industry. But if you get a skid plate, you can actually set it up to build the coil within the skid plate, and you could sort of protect it and run some epoxy around it, and in the middle of the skid plate just put a coil mount, or just get 2 bits of PVC or ABS or something, glue them in there, drill a hole through them, and there it goes on your stick, on your shaft. It doesn't have to look pretty, it has to be functional. So that's if you want to do it for yourself. If you want to do it commercially, I suppose you're going to make it look pretty, But I don't really want to go into coil manufacture. I've got enough on my plate. So I'm just thinking of it from a hobbyist point of view, that if there was enough people who showed interest and said, I want X feet, meters, kilometers, or whatever of this particular wire, we could pool our resources, get it made in bulk, and end up with whatever we want on the cheap. So, if you want to buy a meter of something like that, oh my God, they're going to charge a fortune. I've been quoted before. It was a ridiculous amount of money just to set the machinery up and make whatever it was, 50 meters or something. So it would have to be 100 meters or more, and you'd have to shop around. You have to find a Chinese. Look, I think you go Chinese. I get stuff made here or even in the US. It's damn expensive. So haggle with the Chinese. Someone who can actually utilize making Litz wire, because you need Litz wire for your cable structures. I've got tons of normal Litz wire to make coils out of. So yeah, that helped me move that as well, because I've got whatever I said I had. I had 600 kilos of like the 72 strand 0. I think it's 0.12 millimeter. Anyway, it gives you the right roundabout resistance for a coil that'll work on a mine lab. So there is that. If you want, you can actually double it up too, and you can triple strand it and twist it. You can do all sorts of things. You can actually make it work on a GPZ and make your own copy, like the X coils are. You can make your own coil like that by thickening up the transmit side of it, because you've got to keep that dead stable, and you just wind a couple of outriggers counterphase, and away you go. And then if you have a triple phase cable, you can actually play around with it as well, rather than have those receive coils. I think they must be separate. They can't be in series if they're out of phase. I wish I actually had one so I could stick a meter on it and measure it, or have it on a bench and put some current through it and just see what's in phase and what's not in phase and whatever. Like, there are two receive coils. I don't know if they run into the detector on separate cabling. I've never ever looked. I've never ever had to look at that sort of thing, because that's in the coil. That would mean pulling someone's coil apart, and I don't want to pull someone's good coil apart, but someone said that they have one there. They had the plug chopped off, and they're going to drop that in. So that'll be a big start, a big help, because then I can work out the phasing, all the impedances, resistances. We can make up some lookup charts. I put them up on the website, and if you want to make your own coils, we'll just put all the data there, so you can make your own coils. We can work as a bit of a team. You can find out where to get the foam from, whatever country you're in. If you're over in Russia or US, UK, or Australia, if you got sources for materials, we can just put it out there. So yeah, that would be good. That would be good. I really want to make one anyway. I want to make some triple winding coils with separate windings for the GP and GPXs. Like I say, this is experimentation. I've only done it with two separate mono cables on those small coils I use for testing, because it cancels out the interference beautifully, much better than a double D. Absolutely kills the interference. So if I'm thinking along those lines, and you have two receive coils, and you have a separate transmit coil, and you can do all these wonderful things of switching phases and winding counter phase, in phase, whatever you want to do. Like I say, it's experimental. Everyone's going to learn a lot, and I think everyone will get a really good coil out of it. and it may be a super performer, better than anything that's ever been made in the history for those type of detectors. Like I say, I don't know because I haven't actually done it. I could actually get David to wind me another copy coil like those little black ones I've been using, and I can actually get another mono cable and balance it all and try and stick it on a single plug. But it's getting a bit ridiculous with those big mono cables. That's why I was thinking about getting a triple coax in one assembly, so it'd just be like a mono cable. Ah, dear me, things that go through your head. Like I wake up in the middle of the night dreaming of this stuff sometimes. I tell you, oh, that'd be better. There's another one I've come up with too. It's actually for a concentric type design, but it's done extremely differently. No one has done it before. I've never seen it. No one would have even tried it, but I think it'll be a game changer. And this will only also work on GP and GPX detectors. So look, I'm telling you guys, if you have if you want to do the experimentation, if you have a GP or a GPX, not a 6000, but I'm talking, 45, 48, 5000, and any of the, GP Extreme or 3000, 3500, or, anything in between. I don't know if there was, but if you get one of these detectors, I would be holding on to it because it is such a versatile, adaptable detector. There's nothing wrong with the inherent design, and some of the limitations could be overcome with a bit of a change of the coil technology. What do you think of that? I think it'd be an absolute ripper. That's why I've got a stack of GP and GP. I actually own I have 4 GPX 4500s and I have 2 GPX 5000s. I have 3 or 4 GP Extremes. I have 2 GP 3000s, and I have 2 absolute mint condition brand new GP 3500s. Absolutely mint condition, so probably a collector's item. No, they are really, really good to play with. They are not a bad detector, but yeah, they're going to become hard to get because no one is manufacturing them no more. Well, don't get the other ones because it probably won't ground balance properly. The ones I'm talking about are the knockoffs. You really are spinning the dice a bit buying a knockoff. I've had them, the early ones, I've had them come in. People have said, can you do this, that? And I go, okay. And they work perfect. I've had others come in and absolutely refuse to ground balance. Won't ground balance in a absolute fit. And, I don't know if it's just one company knocking them off or there's 2 companies or 3, but someone or there's some part of the process is flawed. I don't know if it's the, the programming for the MCU that's done wrong. I don't know what it is because I can't get into that because the code's locked. So how do you even look at it? And even if you do get in, what you do is look at the machine code and go, don't know what that means. So it's what it is. Now, another one I was going to say, this is to do with GPZZ 7000. I've heard a few little things, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm gonna mention it. It's really funny that people have been trying to emulate the little dongle chip, the little you're not going to work unless you do a handshake with me thing in the plug. Okay, the thing you take out and make an adapter and then stick it on X coils or whatever other coils you want to work. Which normally won't work because I can't do a handshake. What is really interesting is that I heard that there was, not saying any names or anything, I've probably forgotten the names, but it's just my opinion that this could work, but it would probably be classified as hacking, and thus would be designated as probably an illegal thing to do. So, you know, I'll put the disclaimer in there. Don't do this. Don't do it. If it's illegal, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. And anyway, it's just my opinion. You could do this if you wanted to. Everyone looks at the dongle and they think, oh, okay, let's you know, try and work out what's in this plug chip. You know what I'd do? Right, it actually talks to the MCU and the detector. I'd be doing a hard probe of the MCU chip and back engineer it. No, as a joke. But people do that. There's companies around that actually do hot probing of the chip, and they actually work out all the functionality of the IC. And if you actually, this is just my opinion, that actually if that did happen, you could basically remove the handshake functionality, and the bloody detector would work if you put another MCU in it. It was built the same, programmed the same. I'm just thinking out loud. Anyway, oh, it's going to get really noisy here, so I'll leave it there, but I thought that was just quite funny. Worried about the little chip, and you can do the big one. Anyway, catches.